Donald Trump's first on-camera reaction after Xi Jinping appeared to snub the US president by rolling out a grand ceremony for Vladimir Putin's visit to China.
But I think it's good. I don't know if the ceremony is quite as brilliant as mine.
Trump now appears to be trying to save face after Beijing staged a massive ceremony for Vladimir Putin, one that many saw as overshadowing his own recent visit. The question hanging over Washington is whether Trump was embarrassed by Putin's far grander reception in Beijing, compared with the one he himself received just days earlier. Putin traveled to China to meet Xi Jinping only 4 days after Trump departed, highlighting how quickly Beijing moved from one major world leader to the next. With Beijing and Moscow showcasing their partnership, it may be China and Russia who have the last laugh, even as Trump tries to downplay the significance of Putin's visit. US President Donald Trump has now reacted publicly to the meeting between Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping in China, offering his first comments on the high-stakes summit. On May 20th, speaking to reporters in Maryland, Trump was asked for his opinion on the Xi-Putin meeting and the optics of their warm reception in Beijing. Trump admitted he had watched the Russian president's reception ceremony in Beijing, indicating he was closely following how China treated Putin after his own trip.
Well, he told me he was going to. I think it's good. I get along with both of them. But I think it's good. I don't know if the ceremony is quite as brilliant as mine. I watched. I think we topped them. Good team. But no, I get along with Putin. I get along with everybody but your husband and a few others.
Earlier, Trump had touted his meeting with Xi as the kind of summit even Joe Biden could never get, framing his Beijing visit as uniquely successful and prestigious. But Putin's visit to Xi came just 4 days after Trump concluded his 2-day trip on May 15th, raising inevitable comparisons between the two leaders' receptions in China. Russian media reported that Putin received a higher-level airport reception than Donald Trump did, an account that highlighted contrasts in ceremonial protocol and fueled questions about Beijing's diplomatic signaling. US President Trump visited Beijing on May 14th to 15th to discuss global developments with Xi, undertaking a 2-day summit intended to address crises from the Iran war to broader U.S.-China strategic competition. Putin was personally greeted by Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, a senior official and Politburo member, a reception detail that many diplomats read as a sign of Moscow's elevated standing in Beijing's current foreign policy calculus. By contrast, Trump was met by Vice President Han Zheng, who no longer sits on the Politburo, a difference in rank that analysts interpreted as indicative of a warmer or higher priority posture toward Russia at that moment. China analysts said that sending a Politburo member to receive Putin demonstrates higher importance attached to the Russian leader's visit, using protocol as a deliberate tool of diplomatic messaging. With little visible progress reported from U.S.-China talks, Putin arrived in Beijing feeling confident about his visit, a tone noted by outlets such as Al Jazeera that read the scheduling and receptions as evidence of shifting diplomatic momentum. For China, hosting back-to-back visits from President Trump and President Putin served as a deliberate diplomatic flex, a high-visibility demonstration of Beijing's central role in mediating great power relations and managing competing global pressures, as noted by Al Jazeera. Putin's visit was announced just 1 day after President Trump departed China, a tightly timed move that many observers read as signaling Beijing's eagerness to engage rapidly with Moscow and to balance its diplomatic calendar between the United States and Russia. Trump failed to secure China's help in pressuring Iran to accept a deal or to end the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, a shortfall that underscored the limits of US leverage even during a high-profile bilateral summit in Beijing. Russia and China have drawn closer in part because of shared experience under Western sanctions and a mutual belief that President Trump's policies amount to reckless pressure, a convergence that has pushed the two capitals into more coordinated diplomatic postures. Putin's visit underscored Beijing's effort to position itself at the center of a fragmented global order, using sequential high-level engagements to project influence and to shape outcomes across multiple regional crises. Oleg Ignatov, senior Russia analyst at Crisis Group, said, and I quote, "The relationship between the two countries is strategic. They are partners, strategic partners, but they are not military allies, and I don't expect that they will go anywhere further. Russia and China's relationships are very stable, very important for both countries, and there is no negative agenda in this relationship," unquote. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin opened his talks with President Xi Jinping by invoking a traditional Chinese saying, a carefully chosen cultural reference that commentators said signaled respect for Chinese norms and set a conciliatory tone for the bilateral discussions.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Xi Jinping, my dear friend, it is fitting to quote a Chinese proverb here. As far as we know, There's a saying in China that goes, "One day apart seems 3 autumns past." We are truly delighted to see you. We keep in constant contact, both personally and through our aides in the government. I warmly recall how, last year, we had the opportunity here to take part together in the celebrations marking the 80th anniversary of victory in the Second World War. 25 years ago, our country signed a treaty of good neighborliness and friendly cooperation, a fundamental intergovernmental document that serves as a basis for the development of cooperation in all areas and remains fully relevant today. Today, our relations have reached an unprecedentedly high level, serving as a model of a truly comprehensive partnership and strategic cooperation. It is no coincidence that our delegation includes a large part of the government of the Russian Federation, business leaders, and representatives of civil society and educational organizations. Now, as a matter of course, we will begin our work with the chairman by discussing key issues of bilateral cooperation, primarily in the economic sphere. We will then continue the talks with the delegations, as the chairman has just proposed. Even against a backdrop of unfavorable external factors, our interaction and economic cooperation continue to show strong growth. Trade turnover has increased more than 30-fold over the past quarter of a century. For several years running, it has consistently exceeded the $200 billion mark. The driving force behind economic cooperation is Russian-Chinese collaboration in the energy sector. Against the backdrop of the crisis in the Middle East, Russia continues to maintain its role as a reliable supplier of resources. China is a responsible consumer of these resources. Among the priorities are major joint ventures in industry, agriculture, transport, and, of course, high technology. Cultural ties are developing no less actively. Following the successful years of culture, the years of cooperation in the field of education are next in line. This is already the 10th reciprocal interstate thematic project, which we are also launching together today. An additional stimulus for increasing people-to-people contacts has been the introduction, on your initiative, dear friend, of a reciprocal visa-free regime for the citizens of our countries. We will certainly continue this practice. Our cooperation on foreign policy matters is one of the key stabilizing factors on the international stage. A complex process is underway to shape a polycentric world based on a balance of interests among all its participants. Together with our Chinese friends, we uphold cultural and civilizational diversity and respect for the sovereign development of states, and strive to build a more just and democratic world order. In the current tense situation on the international stage, our close ties are particularly in demand. We are stepping up coordination within the UN, BRICS, the G20 and other forums. We will continue our active engagement with the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. I am confident that together we will mark the 25th anniversary of the SCO this year in a fitting manner. It will become an excellent example of the fair resolution of problems and the promotion of integration across our vast shared region. We fully support the activities of the Chinese chairmanship of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum this year. For my part, I would like to confirm my readiness to take part in the summit of this format in Shenzhen this November. And, of course, we invite you, dear friend, to visit the Russian Federation next year. Thank you.